Let's talk about 2018. I think that's only right because we just experienced an entire year that really is kind of, we're in the middle of a shift, like a movement. It's like a digital movement. Everyone has this opportunity that they did not have just even 2-3 years ago, where at least it was at this scale, meaning that in 2017, I'm going to use my experience for example. I dived in and started learning and studying digital marketing, or internet marketing, or digital branding. And my goal was to take basically all my knowledge, all my experience, and put it on platforms where it's free to consume, where loan officers who were like myself, who was interested in bigger things than just rims and just just cars, that they wanted to work for their family, or they wanted to provide for their children, they wanted to be a bigger person. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're all about them rims, you're all about the nicest car, I'm not knocking you. I was like that too. But there was an underlying reason as to why, and it mainly was status. It was status because of my past and because of where I came from, because of the doubt that I had from the haters, but more importantly because of the support that I had from the people that loved me, that really stuck it out with me. And those individuals I owed a lot to for giving me that much love and giving me that, because they didn't have to. And I recognized that as more and more as I got older. And throughout my childhood, I always thought it was kind of like a hardship I was putting on, like I was a burden. And ultimately, having that mindset, I just became a burden. And it's funny because you look back at these certain these milestones that you have in your life, and you have like a lot of aha moments, right? Like, oh, now that makes sense. Well, all I'm gonna ask you to do right now is just think back in 2017. Look at the opportunity you have right now, where no matter what boat you're in, if you're getting in sales, you're just in sales, or you're just watching this for morning motivation, I want you to remember the opportunity that you have right now, right before you. You have the opportunity to reach out to a mass amount of people. This is no longer the days of cold calling. This is no longer the days of just blind emails. This is an opportunity where you can watch how it's done. You can see how it's done in real time. Not only that, but those who are doing it are not closed off. They're not in an office with the door closed. They're not in some elite group on your sales floor that you just can't get access to figure out the secrets. And the secrets are all shared, right? It's shared on social media. Everyone's trying to build a brand and bring value online. And that's just a great thing to have. That's something that I did not have. And if I did have, then I'd look back and be like, man, what moves would I have made? Because I knew my mindset, my work ethic was strong. I knew I had that for me. And what I did was I just fused that work ethic, I fused that mindset and that desire, that kind of just that whole ability to focus and be so stubborn that I want it, I'm gonna get it. Like that attitude. Because there's attitudes where, they're like, oh, that would be nice. No, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about, fuck that. This dude got it, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get more. Like almost like that, like the greed, the good greed, not the bad greed. The bad greed is when you're trying to get off on someone, where you're trying to scam that person and not give them value, not build a relationship. Now again, if you're in that state right now and you find yourself doing kind of shady fucking deals just so you can, go buy a new watch and shit, that shit's not worth it. That shit will come back and creep up on you in the future, believe me. Now, in regards to like your focus now, looking at 2018 and looking at the opportunity before you, sometimes you can't put two and two together, right? Like you look at it, and believe me, it took me a long time too. Social media has been around for a minute. Social media, there are people who right now who have a brand who've been doing it for the last 6 years. So they have been on the game and they've been doing it. And I was off the game. I had no real idea of the power and just the potential that this niche or this industry would have. And when it started putting it together, the more I put, the more I consumed, and I did all this in my morning ritual, by the way. If you've adopted a morning ritual, or you currently have a morning ritual, fucking praise you. Like that is a big piece of your advantage, and I'm sure you'll agree. If you agree, leave notes below on this video and share with me that you got a morning ritual going on. But anyways, long story short, is, that morning ritual, I had time to focus on myself. It was kind of like my way of meditating. So I wasn't always just over consuming my thoughts, my worries, my concerns, my illusions for that day, not regretting the past and not sweating, being in a rush. Like that morning ritual really put things in perspective. And in the process, I started studying different things, right? Like I went from sales to picking up this one book called Six-Figure Second Income from John Rosnack. And there's an audio book because I don't really read, right? So I'll listen to audiobooks sometimes at the gym, or while I'm getting ready for the gym, and then I'll throw on some music. But it was mainly consumed through audio. Like that's something I wasn't necessarily good at, and I'm practicing on is reading. And what I found that you're going to grasp more information, you're going to really gain the most value is if you're motivated about the topic. And so you have to have a reason to be motivated about the topic. Of course, I'm motivated to create a digital brand, to create a second source of income. This would be another stream of income. It doesn't mean that you gotta just put 100% all in and say, hey, you know what, these people have been doing it, they're making millions of dollars, fuck it, I'm gonna do it too, I'm good. You can't take that risk, right? So you have to have the patience. You have to kind of do a lot of testing and a lot of different different ideas. You have to just roll it out there and kind of see the reaction. And so in your first year, it's very humbling. Just this past year, I've taken the opportunity and said, okay, well, these people have done it, but I have a gift right now that they didn't have. And that's having the influence and having the mentorship, meaning that because they put their 6 or 7 years into it already and established their brand, they're actually talking about the topic. And there's something that I learned in sales is reading the tone, reading the tonality, reading, kind of like the body language. And I have this, I'm able to at least pick up from just basic street smarts, besides studying sales and all that, just basic street smarts of what the true intention is. And so like I can tell in video, because it's visual now, I'm reading the person's dialogue, I'm reading their script, I'm trying to see what the true intention is, right? And so I'm not falling for the fucking 21-year-old that's trying to be a life coach, right? Like you haven't even really experienced life yourself, big dog. And I'm not, I can pick that apart and actually go through the raw influence. So when I see individuals like kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk, other influencers that are available for your consumption, that are not trying to sell you, they're actually just helping you. And what blew my mind was that my sales strategy, or at least my techniques, have a lot to do with the 5149 mindset. If you're not familiar with that, 5149 basically means that you bring value to the balance of a relationship, is that you bring 51, like you bring more than the other party. And that's how we should all be. And if we all had that mindset, everything would work a little bit more, more smoothly. But the issue is, though, everyone comes in at like 25 and let me test the waters. How deep are you gonna go? You gonna go 30? All right, I'll go 30%. And so you got kind of just that mindset wiring. And anyway, long story short is studying this topic, looking at the opportunity I have before me, and realizing that I do share a lot of valuable information. I share it daily, and this information has helped those around me succeed and get over different avenues, whether it's dealing with frustration, getting motivated, getting a sale, scripting a sale, how to overcome an objection. So I have a lot of this knowledge just from based on experience, and so now I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it for those who want to study it. And if you do want to study it, it means that you want to make something of your career, and that's the audience that I'm looking for. And so I'm not necessarily meant for everyone. Like if you're trying to get that HR job and shit, and you have no interest in entrepreneurship, or you have no interest in branding or sales or vlogging, then I may not be your cup of tea. But what I am is an experienced certified closer, straight hustle junkie. I got nothing but love and passion for the art that I do. The art that I do has enabled me to move from having a GED to no college degree to having a nice lifestyle. And my goal is just to improve it, make it better. And in the process of, I'm going to deliver a massive amount of value for any of the audience that I do have, which is you. So I appreciate your opportunity and giving me some attention. I hope that this video has reminded you that you have a ton of opportunity before you. You have all these resources. You have the ability to get mentored virtually from someone who's already in the game and killing it. You are studying their moves. You're seeing their actions that they're taking, because you're seeing it done. They're doing it online. They're fucking documenting the journey. And so if you had this snapshot to any successful person, and you had that ability in understanding that, well, if I do that shit too, and I do it right, and I learn from their mistakes, then I can duplicate the process and I can make it my own. So now the question is, in 2018, looking at all these resources, looking at this digital age, looking at the ability that we have before us from creating multiple streams of income, and also studying your current craft to ensure that you're successful in your current craft and you're maximizing your potential, and the shit is free. All that information is just a push away on an app. So the question is, what the fuck are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that opportunity? So now that the question has been asked, right as we go into 2018, this time next year, we're going to look back and say, well, what the fuck did you do with the opportunity? And then you can list it off, and it's up now it's your decision to go into 2018 like this. Like, do I want to regret this shit 1 year from now, or do I want to look back and be like, damn, I created so much fucking momentum because I was hyper focused on a topic, and I put everything that I had, I sacrificed, I put the work in, I fucking took the humility, I was able to have the courage enough to back down and understand that I'm not the best, and change my circle, surround myself with individuals that were killing it, that were doing far better than me, that were wealthier than me, that were smarter than me, that were more experienced than me, and I lived in that circle. And now I'm going to put in action all the lessons, and I have been putting in action all the lessons that I've been learning along the way. And so you get to see that. You get to see the development of a brand. And so this brand is only, let's say, 9-10 months old, but going into 2018, now I'm going to look back and say, well, look at that video. Now I'm putting myself on the line, and I'm okay with that. I got the work ethic and the focus and the game to endure it, because I have an underlying reason. The reason for my push and my motion is to ensure that I take care of my family and give them security that I didn't have coming up. More importantly, I want to enjoy the fine things in life. I want to be able to make sure my kids get the fine things in life. So whatever pushes you, like, that's what pushes me. Find that reason, let it drive you. That's the only thing that's going to hold you accountable. And if you're not thinking about, dreaming big, then who the fuck is going to dream big for you? So put that to some thought. I want you to stay encouraged, motivated, and whenever you need a boost of confidence, you stop by Sales Remaster on any platform you find me on. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you found me. I appreciate your attention. Please consider subscribing. Leave your notes below. Let me know what this video has done for you going into 2018.